Hey guys, how are you doing? This is Houc with Houc Social Gaming. Today I want to talk about my Druid a little bit. A couple of the videos I tried out before just didn't turn out very well. I'm still getting used to the making video thing. But yeah, I've got a few characters now. This is my level 90 Restoration Druid. Yesterday I capped out a Frost DK. I'm currently working on my Destruction Warlock and a Prot Paladin. All 85 and higher, obviously. I've got some other alts that I'm going to be working on too. But like I said, I want to go over my Restoration Druid today and show you what has worked for me. I mean, I watched a lot of videos from other people and took a little bit from each one and kind of made it my own. So let me start off with obviously my talents. So these are the few of the ones that I picked. I'm not going to go over all of these because, I mean, if you got a druid, you know how to read. I'm not, going to act like you're all stupid or anything like that. It's common knowledge. But I'm just going to show you what ones I picked and why I picked them. Obviously, feline swiftness increases movement speed. Just helps to move around fights easier. That's what I found. It helps me stay out of the stuff on the ground that kills us and like any bashes or anything like that. It gets me away from quicker. Nature's swiftness. When activated, your next cyclone, entangling roots, healing touch, hibernate, nourish, blah blah blah. All the cast time or the duration, the healing and duration of the spell is increased by half. So it makes your heals bigger if you're in restoration form. Now, what I did with that is I actually macroed that to be a burst heal. If I'm in a dungeon or a raid or something like that and the stuff really starts to hit the fan, I have a quick hotkey here. And this is my macro. I call it good touch as opposed to bad touch. And this is the macro. And I have to click this twice. And I've got it set up. I've got a Logitech 5-button mouse, wireless. And I've got this macro right to my easiest thumb key on my mouse. So basically what I did, or what this macro will do, is Nature Swiftness. It pops that, and then it also pops my Healing Touch. Now everybody knows Healing Touch is a big burst heal anyway. So, instead of 56,000, it increases it by half again. So it adds like another 23 some to whatever thousand. I'm not good with math, so you have to bear with me on it. But it's a big heal. Basically, I pop those two, and if I've got a tank or something, another healer in a raid that's about to go down, this will blast them right back up, at least halfway, almost quarter of the way, to where I can get other hots on them right after that, and it doesn't let them, it doesn't just burn them out instantly. So that's what I ended up doing with that. That's why I went with Nature's Swiftness. Mass Entanglement. I mean, it was really the only thing I found that if it starts to get rough in trash pulls and stuff like that, I'll use this if I'm getting targeted, like the tank hasn't gotten aggro, or somehow I pulled aggro by overhealing or something like that. I hit this. It just helps me stay alive a little bit longer. Incarnation, obviously, it does different things depending on what spec you're in, what form you're in. Obviously, being restoration, it is Tree of Life. Tree of Life form that increases healing done by 15%, increases armor by 120%. So not only does it, I find that obviously it's going to make me a more efficient healer, but it makes me a little bit harder to kill. I don't get one-shotted a lot of the time. I can get hots on myself and keep myself moving around. So now, see, these ones here are kind of odd here. Some people, I see a lot of people go for the Vortex, Ursol's Vortex, to kind of help, if they're getting away from the tank and he needs to help get aggro, or needs to get that little death ball. I see people put that down. It'll pull him to the tank, and like if it's a DK, he can hit his blood boil or death and decay. It pulls him right into it, which I can understand that. But I also like a stun too, because if I do have somebody wailing on me, I can stun them and run off. It's just that simple. And then for my last talent, my 90 talent, I went with Nature's Vigil. Now, if you're not at 90 yet, or you haven't had a chance to do any of the reading on it, increases all damage and healing. Obviously, I'm using it for healing by 20% for 30 seconds. While active, all single target healing spells also damage a nearby enemy target for 25% of healing done. excuse me, and all single target damage spells and abilities also heal a nearby friendly target for 25% of the damage meter. So it's kind of like another AoE heal in a way when I'm healing a tank. Like if there's an off tank or another melee DPS beside him or her, it will heal that person a little bit, but it's also doing little bits of damage to the target of who I'm healing. Like, you know, if it's a boss fight, it's going to deal a little bit of damage to the boss while I'm healing the tank, or as I'm moving my heals around, which works out really great. Just kind of helps take the edge off of the monotony of healing. I get a little bit of damage done too. Just makes me feel a little bit more helpful, I guess. The hell is that? Oh, that's okay. I don't know why that's there, but anyway, glyphs. These are the ones that I've chosen. Glyph of Wild Growth. Wild Growth can affect an additional target, but its cooldown is increased by 2%. Totally worth it. I mean, it heals for plenty amount of overtime. I mean, it's on long enough. By the time I get through usually a rotation of spot healing, I'm right back to it anyway, and I've got other hots on. But it's just helping me keep a group of people up and making it so the full group is being helped, not just a few. Obviously, common sense there. Healing Touch. When you cast Healing Touch, the cooldown on your Swiftmend is reduced. Obviously, that works really well in conjunction with my glyph I made, and then like Swiftmend. So let's say I've got a tank that's really low. I can hit that cooldown, pop those two cast sequences there, get the tank up, pop that Swiftmend, and it's in even another slam heal. So it's like, oh shit, he's gonna go down, so and so's gonna go down, get him back up, last ditch effort or whatever, and just bam, get the heals up. Other one, Glyph of Life Bloom. Casting Life Bloom on a target grants the target many applications as the old target had. This will not occur while in Tree of Life form, or when Life Bloom has less than 2 seconds remaining. So, again, it's a hot, does good amount of healing over time, and I could basically just keep cycling that around. All I have to do is cast it the first initial 3 times on the tank, which is what I usually do. It's how I open up a fight. I make sure that Life Bloom is on the tank for a maximum of 3 stacks, and then as I go through each person in the group, the raid or whatever that I have to heal, I pop that, followed by usually I'll hit them with Rejuvenation, and that's 2 hots instantly. That's usually enough to get them back up. And then the minor glyphs are just stupid. This dumb glyph of Charm of Woodland Creatures or whatever, I'm going to replace that. I hate it. Every time I do it, it pops off my Symbiosis, and I don't like it because of the way my UI is set up. So that's what I've got for talents and glyphs. Pretty much what you see here on my bars is my rotation. 1 through 6 is my main rotation. Like I said, I'll start a fight off. I get Life Bloom on the tank instantly, and then a Wild Growth. Those are the 2. Because if any burst damage starts to come around, the Wild Growth will heal everybody else along with the tank, and then the tank's also got the major Life Bloom on it. As battles become more intense, I'll keep the Life Bloom up, and I'll keep the Wild Growth up. I'll pop Rejuvenation. And Rejuvenation, no matter what, I constantly keep it on each individual member of the party, just so that if they do take a hit, it pops them up really fast. Now, I do a lot of overhealing that way, but I don't a lot. I don't run out of mana a lot, so I don't really worry about it too much, and I'd rather do that and be a little bit safer. Sorry. A little bit safer and easier on healing over time. It does take a decent amount of mana, but it's got that quick cast time. But like I said, I don't really a lot, so I'm not too overly concerned. There's that Nature's Vigil. I'll pop that when I absolutely have to. Actually, I just had a thought. I should factor that into my macro to pop Nature's Vigil and then pop Nature's Swiftness, and then it'll do Healing Touch. So I'd pop that 3 times, so that would make a really big slam heal. I should do that. I may do that. That may be in a future video where you may see that macro. And then, of course, I've got my Tranquility, Raid Group Heal, Large Heal. But this is my main stuff here. This is what I like to do. these are the rotations. I've got my iron bark. I pop that on the tank. Um, at the beginning, metal every 2 minutes it's on cool. Every time that's off cooldown, that's on the tank or whoever's taking the most damage at the time. That is always up. I always keep that on cooldown with no matter who's tanking or what. Now also if I'm in a fight and I'm not having to heal a lot, I'm standing around. There's really nothing going on. I go over here to this little sidebar that I've got. Moonfire obviously for the dot, and then I just spam the Sin out of Wrath just to help get some more damage in, help things go a little bit easier. I've got Hurricane here for AoE. I never use it, and Cyclone. I never use it unless they ask me to. If we don't have a mage that can sheep or something like that, or a priest that can mind control, I'll use Cyclone to help control the mob. But in Heroics and Mist of Pandaria, you don't really have a need to. You could just burn pretty much everything down. The DPS can. So I keep my Innervate out obviously around my bark skin to help me. I never really pop that Tree of Life. I know I should once in a while, but I never really do. And then I'm an alchemist or herbalism and mining with this guy. He's my farmer because druids obviously everybody knows that if you're out herbalizing, picking herbs. If a Tauren druid comes up, flies in, he can pick in bird form and then take right off. Pisses a lot of people off, but it's really efficient farming for herbalism. And my paladin that I have that I've got to max out to 90, who's 85 right now, he's my alchemist. So it just works really well that way for me to fly around and do that. But herbalism gives me that nice little lifeblood boost. So that's basically my druid. He's nothing really fancy. He's got a 461 item level. I've been doing a few raids with him and stuff like that. Mostly LFR. I will recommend one thing, and I did this as soon as I hit 87 when I got there, was I got my Ghost Iron Dragonling, and that lets you put 3 cogwheels of your main stat priority, which for the Druid, I've done research on online and stuff. Mastery, Spirit, and Haste. Those are the 3 that I always need. It's got a little attack thing to it when you equip it that, like, if I am attacking, sometimes the little Ghost Iron Dragonling will come out and he'll help. He does it once in a while, like I said, if I'm spamming Wrath or something. But all my gear is all obviously spirit related. I don't take anything in raids or dungeons, even if it's an upgrade like with Intellect or whatever. I don't take anything that I would think like a ranged DPS could use, because I'm not a dick like that. Even an off spec, my off spec is Boomkin for doing the dailies like with the Golden Lotus and stuff. But I don't take the gear for off spec stuff because, I mean, the only time I DPS really is when I'm doing my dailies. So there's no reason for me to go, I need this for offset. So I don't do that. I mean, Boomkin and Resto Druid are close enough that I can do enough damage that I don't have to worry about it. So I'm not a. If you ever are on Dragonblight or we do it your dungeon, you see me pop in there, you'll never. If you're another caster, you'll never see me snake gear. I just don't do it. I do have some reforging stuff. Reforging stuff that I've done. And I use Ask the Robot for that. There's a website. If you Google it, there's a website that'll show you how to optimize your reforging, how to optimize your gear. I use that a lot. Yeah. These hands, they dropped off the Shawvanger for me the other day. Thought that was pretty cool. One other thing I do want to let people know about. A fresh 90, which I play regularly with groups of friends, around town or where I live and stuff like that, and other people online in my guild. But I am finding that more and more people aren't aware that when you pop into 90, the first thing you need to do to get into heroics is you need the gear to be able to get to heroics. One recommendation, if anybody watches this, tell your friends about it. I don't care what you do, just let people know. In the scenario tab, which I know a lot of people got turned off of scenarios because of the Theramorph's Fall. It turned them off from it. The first thing you want to do, in my opinion, is go and queue for the Arena of Annihilation. It's like the Trial of the Grand Crusader was back in Wrath of the Lich King, where you're in the little arena and these bosses come in. Only this isn't as intense. So far it's been the only one I found with a quest. And when you start that quest in there before you hit the gong and start the event, the quest automatically gives you a 450 weapon for your class, for your spec. It gives you two choices to choose from. And not many people know to do that. I mean, I've got a buddy of mine, for example, who has been 90 for a week and a half now. He's been running with the same weapon he had in Cataclysm because he didn't know about the Arena of Annihilation deal. It's all over the internet. I mean, Tank Spot's got it. Preach Gaming's got it. There's just all kinds of people who tell about this stuff. So, again, first thing you do when you hit 90, clean out your bags, restore your gear, hop into that scenario of Arena of Annihilation, do that quest, get your first 450 weapon. It's going to get you on your way to get into heroics. Even at 87 with the Ghost Iron Dragonling, that's a 450 item. Buy that thing. It's not that expensive in the auction house. I think it's like 300, 400 gold, if that. So it's really not hard to attain. Get it. Look up your stat priorities. Get them in there. Whether you're DPS, whether you're heals, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Get that. That's going to help get your item level up, and that's going to get you into heroics a lot faster. So anyway, that's my druid. That's my recommendation. This is obviously him. Big cow samurai. So yeah, any questions or anything like that, please feel free to leave me a comment. I do live stream from time to time on Twitch, and that is obviously www.twitch.tv/Tornhoof, which is the name of my character here, obviously. So yeah, if you ever, I don't really have a set time because I'm just getting started, and I do it for fun. It's not about making a living at it. I sell auto parts for a living, so I manage an auto parts company. Big deal. But I stream. If you want to stop by, stop by. More people the merrier. I like to talk to people. I'm a pretty easy guy to get along with. If you want to make fun of my videos or make fun of me, I don't care. Whatever helps you get through the day. Think of me as your therapist. If you got stuff you got to get off your chest, troll me. It's cool. No problem. So, yeah, thanks for watching the video. And like I said, if there's anything else you want to see, or, my Paladin, my Lock, my Death Knight, whatever, just feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll see if I can accommodate you. So, this has been Houc with Houc Social Gaming. Thanks for watching, and folks, have a great day.